Networking and marketing made simple is for you, the business owner who has a product, a service, or a message that you believe in. My name is Scott Aaron, and each week we'll take a behind-the-scenes look into the real-world marketing and networking tactics and strategies for getting what you have in front of you to a lot more people. Thanks for spending time with me, and now let's get started. Super excited for you to hear today's amazing episode. But before I jump into that, I have so many people that reach out to me and ask, how do I start a podcast? What do I need to do? And what you guys listen to, wherever you're listening to this from, if you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, in my opinion, it is the easiest way to make a podcast. It's one of those things where I jumped into it because it has everything that I needed in one place. And that's what I loved about it. The tools that allow you to record and then edit your podcast from your phone or your computer, which is so accessible. But also, when you actually host your podcast on Anchor like I do, you can distribute that podcast on all the listening platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, all the different big ones that people are listening to. It's all from here. And it's everything that you need to make a podcast in one place. And the other great thing is, and why I always suggest it to people, it's absolutely free. And this is the easiest thing to do. All you have to do is download the Anchor app on Apple or on your Android, or go to anchor.fm. And that's how you get started. It's that simple. So if you have a message, if you have something really important you want to share, getting your podcast out on the anchor.fm platform will get you there. And not even will get you there, you'll be amazed at what could happen. So enjoy today's episode. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast. And super excited for today's episode. Just a couple quick announcements. Number one, I just wanted to send a huge thank you to all of those that supported the launch of my book last week. It's my brand new book, The LinkedIn Book for Sales and Marketing. It hit all the way number 2 in the bestsellers category in sales and selling, which is a very competitive category, but was also in the top 41 bestsellers in 6 different total categories, which is just totally amazing. Nearly 500 copies of my book sold within the first 6 days, and just overwhelmed and super grateful for all of your support. So that's number one, and thank you so much. Number 2, Nancy and I are officially opening the doors for registration for our final LinkedIn intensive of the year. It's our amateur to expert LinkedIn intensive. It's one of our foundational 5-day workshops that we teach. It is September 27th. That's a Tuesday, only reason being not starting on Monday. Monday is a Jewish holiday, so my family is going to be getting together, obviously. So it's Tuesday through Sunday. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is from 8 to 9 p.m. EDT. Friday is from 5 to 6. Saturday and Sunday are from 11 to 12 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. As always, it's going to be live and recorded in a private Zoom, and the replays will be available until the following Sunday. I believe that is October 9th. So you'll have over a week and a half to watch the replays. I'm going to leave the registration link in the description of this episode if you'd like to register. We have an affiliate program attached to it, so if you do want to send that link out to share it with your network, obviously we would appreciate that. And again, it's 5 days with us. You get a workbook. There's accountability exercises, optimizing your profile, searching, connecting, messaging, content creation. Our 20-minute methodology will be taught in this 5-day workshop, and there's a full 60 minutes of Q&A that Sunday. So 8 to 9 p.m. EDT, Tuesday through Thursday, 5 to 6 EDT on Friday, 11 to 12 EDT on Saturday and Sunday. Now, on to today's episode, which are the 3 best ways of how to generate income using LinkedIn. Now, I've talked about a lot of this in prior episodes, but I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. Now, the first way and the most obvious way is to make sure that you connect with your ideal clients, customers, or power partners. And again, you don't want to spray and pray on LinkedIn. You don't want to just send a bunch of connections out to anyone that has a pulse, hoping just to grow your network to 30,000 and beyond. You have to be very clear and direct with who you're actually connecting with. So something that I always suggest is breaking your connections down into one of two categories. Category one, or bucket one, is going to be your ideal client and customer. And this is the person that really benefits most from what you offer. So think about if you have a product, a good, a service, an opportunity, a program, a course, a mastermind, from a professional and industry standpoint. Who is that person that best fits the mold and would get the best results from taking advantage of what you offer? So that's the first thing that you want to think about. The next thing that you want to think about is your power partners. And power partners, in my personal opinion, end up becoming more important than the actual ideal client because, again, everyone is being sold to and pitched to on LinkedIn. And that's why I really love leaning on the power partners because, again, connection and collaboration is everything. An army of two is twice as strong as an army of one. So forming collaborative and meaningful connections and relationships with your power partners on LinkedIn, whether it's searching and connecting for podcast hosts or other business coaches where you can do a free training in that person's Facebook group or community, will really extend your business and generate income using LinkedIn. So really make sure that you're only connecting with people that fit into one of those two buckets, your ideal client or customer, or that power partner for introductions. So that's number one. Number two is really making sure that you focus on messaging people the right way. And I think this is something that also comes down to there's tact behind it. So I think the overall goal that I really want to talk about here is making sure that you're booking 5 calls per week. That is the goal that I have for everyone that I work with, whether it's in my virtual program, my one-on-one consulting, is booking 5 calls a week. If you can book 5 calls a week, that's 20 calls a month. And if you just have a 20% closing rate, which is 4 people, that's it, 4 people. 80% say no, 20% say yes. That's 4 sales a month. So the one thing that I want you to think about and ask yourself right now, how different would your business look if you had a messaging and call structure where you were booking 5 calls a week, 1 call a day, Monday through Friday for an entire month, 20 calls a month, and you only had to close 20% of them? How good does that feel? And remember, when you're reaching out to people, it's stating their name in a relaxed fashion. Hey, John, great to be connected to you. The second part is making sure that you bridge the gap and create a relatable connection point between you and that person. Hey, John, it's so great to be connected to you. I noticed that you were an online business owner, as am I. Would love to hear how things are going with you. Share more about what's going on with me and how we can support one another here on LinkedIn. So again, I've done 2 things. I've bridged the gap. I've stated that connection point between myself and John, but also I use that favorite word of mine, which is support. And again, you've heard me talk about this before, that when someone reads the word support and says it in their head, it triggers their brain to release a chemical called oxytocin. This is our feel-good brain chemical. So the person is feeling good about this message. It's lowering the wall of resistance and it's raising the level of connection. And the final thing that you do is you finish with a very specific call to action. Questions lead to answers. Statements lead to nowhere. You have to ASK to GET. So you have to ask in order to get. So I would simply finish with, do you have any time this week or next week for a call or a Zoom? So when you connect with the right people and you message people the right way, you're going to have a greater opportunity of booking new sales calls, getting those 5 calls per week, those 20 calls per month, closing 4 people per month out of the 20. That's, again, 20%. That's it. 80% say no. 20% say yes. That's 4 new sales into your business each and every month. How different would your business look if that would happen to you? Now, the third and final way that you can create income on LinkedIn is creating content that educates, informs, and builds trust. So this is also something really, really important. We're going to discuss this actually. A lot of the things that we talked about in today's episode, we're going to be talking about in our 5-day amateur to expert LinkedIn workshop. So again, I highly encourage you, if you want to dive all the way into LinkedIn, learn everything, and have Nancy and I hold your hand, again, go to the description of this episode to register for our workshop. The big thing that I want you to all understand is creating content that doesn't sell or pitch. It builds trust. It builds it's predicated on information and education that's bringing people closer to you instead of pushing them further away. It's paramount. And you got to create content specifically on LinkedIn that's based around video content, long form posts, market research polls, long form articles or newsletters, but from a very general, but I would say clear and specific perspective. Your information has to build the know, like, and trust. You shouldn't be selling or pitching. Everything that you talk about in your content should be leading with value, should be leaving the reader better, should give them some sort of tangible tip or takeaway that when read and then applied is going to create a positive reaction in their business. This is exactly what I did with my brand new book. I had so many people reaching out to me saying they're already getting results just by reading my book. That feels great to me. Knowing that for a $14 book, people are getting hundreds and thousands of dollars worth of education that is obviously going to bring back something into their business. So really making sure that, again, with the different forms of content that can be created on LinkedIn, long form posts, video content, whether it's live or pre-recorded, market research polls, long form newsletters, it's all going to benefit your business in that much of a more positive way. So again, I hope you guys found this episode helpful. So remember, connect with the right people, message people the proper way, make sure that you're leading with value through the content that you're creating. But also, it all comes down to how are you showing up on LinkedIn? And again, if you would like to register for our final LinkedIn workshop of the year, I'm going to leave the link in the description below. It's called the 5-day amateur to expert LinkedIn workshop. We're going to go over everything that needs to be done. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please enjoy the rest of your days, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much again for checking out today's episode. And if you are listening through iTunes, Spotify, wherever you are, please leave me a rating and review. Let me know what you loved, what you would like to see improved, or ideas you have for future episodes. And if you are interested in taking your business to the next level, don't hesitate to go to my website, www.scottaaron.net, where you can schedule a free discovery call with me, where I can learn more about you, your business, what you're struggling with, and how we can work together. And don't forget to check out my wife, Nancy, and mine, our free community on Facebook called LinkedIn Leads for Life. We would love to see you in there. Have a great rest of your day. And thank you, everyone, for your support. Grateful for each and every one of you.